Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heroes of New Earth World Cup hosted by the Gosu Gamers. Today I am Sean FourCourtJester Delaney in association with GameReplays.org here with Cybernetics TV and the one, the only Matt Insane Rabbi Levin. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. We have two amazing teams playing today. We have DuskBin versus EG. I'm going to run us through the picks real fast. EG, first pick, first ban. They ban Repulsor, then Pebbles, Devourer, Tundra, Thunderbringer, and Bombardier. First pick for EG, they took Hellbringer, followed up by an Andro Witch for DuskBin. EG picks up Glacius and Hag. And a little bit of action top note. Looks like nothing too much is going to happen. We do have DuskBin picking up Defiler Bubbles, EG picking up Magnus and SS, and then DuskBin rounding out their picks with the Hammerstorm.
And you can clearly see the Hammerstorm here in the top lane just wandering around with his support heroes. That will be the Andromeda and the Witchslayer for this game. And we call them support heroes because mostly what their job in this game is to support the team, help out the team in different aspects of Heroes of New Earth.
Right. Now, something else to note, some people may say, hey, why does Heroes of New Earth look a little weird? There's some different animations on the screen. This is actually the holiday theme. Magnus coming in with a stun on Defiler, though, and Glacius as well, hitting the slow. Is Defiler going to go down? Throwing the Wave of Death. She is going to end up going down. Magnus getting away with a low amount of health. Soul Stealer, though, pretty low. And it looks like they're just going to be able to back up right there. Nevertheless, this game was played sometime before Halloween, a few days before, so that is why you see all the different graphics set up here in HoN. Nevertheless, what do you think about that opening kill right there?
A very ballsy move. I mean, we did have 3 heroes in the mid, and the mid lane is typically revered as more of a solo capacity, but a really great early kill that gives a lot of momentum now to Team Evil Geniuses, who, by the way, are an American team.
And DuskBin coming in from the Philippines, actually. So interesting to see some Southeast Asia, some Islander teams coming in and doing some work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the big things here of Heroes of New Earth is that it is an international landscape of gamers. I mean, we got people in North America, we got Europe, we got Asia, and as we did say, I mean, DuskBin there from the Philippines. So it really is quite a global network game, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the only problem when you have a global competitive community is sometimes latency can play a bit of an issue, or it can be a bit of an issue, excuse me. So we'll see how DuskBin deals with that. I can't quite see their pings right now, but we know they're probably pinging around 200 compared to EG, probably averaging about 80 or so. It will be a slight advantage for EG, but DuskBin, they're a solid team. We've seen a lot from them before, and I'm excited to see how they play in this game.
Now we do, after that excitement after the first blood, a little bit of a solidification here of the lanes. As we did mention before, the middle is more revered as that solo mid capacity. A lot of teams do like to put their strongest hero forward, and as you see down here, down south with a Bubbles in this bottom lane, he's getting pressured by 3 heroes, and this is what they call a tri-lane. Very popular things to do in the upper brackets of play.
Right, yeah. Tri-lanes, they are a relative... Oh, Andro coming in with an Aurora in mid. Sorry, don't want to miss the action here. And here comes the stun, but B-Kid should be fine. Tower doing some damage onto Andromeda. Magnus coming in from behind on bottom as well. And there we go. Stunning as soon as Bubbles throws the orb. I don't think he's going to be able to get to his orb, and he's going to go down. So just as we're talking about tri-lanes being a safe and effective way to play this game, most pubs used to the 2-1-2 strategy. Pros usually going to go with a 1-1-3 style instead. That's where, of course, you put 1 hero in one lane, 1 hero in another, and 3 heroes in the last lane. It's safer, it's more effective, and really, it's just kind of the right way to play the game.
Well, it has been taking a lot of the cue from previous games, of course. I mean, Heroes of New Earth is modeled upon the defense of the Ancients, where tri-laning is very popular, but it did take a good amount of time for that to really come around here for Heroes of New Earth. Up top, we do have a lot of stuns going down on Chu, and he's going to go down to Pull Wilders, the Witchslayer player here for DuskBin. And again, the power of tri-lanes is simply you can pile a lot of damage onto a single hero for hopefully a kill. In the middle, Mr. Swish, he's going to Rabbi getting hit by Fuji Apples, who is that Magmus player, and Magmus does have that stun, trying to line up this kill for B-Kid. Now, we were, as I said, support heroes, this is what they try to do. They try to line up these kills, and then he is going to let B-Kid pick that kill up because SoulStealer is a very powerful hero when he can get a lot of farm under his belt.
Right, and something as you brought up, but let's touch more on it. Magmus could have gotten the last hit on the opposing player right there. Defiler, he easily could have killed himself, but instead not attacking Defiler, not taking the last hit, and giving it to SoulStealer, who needs the farm, who can use the farm in an extremely effective manner. I just, heads up play by Fuji Apples, on that Magmus, and that's the type of play you like to see at this level.
It does really help define the roles to new players. Like, this is how we have successfully played this kind of hero in this kind of capacity. Not every hero is built equal in Heroes of Newerth, and there are various roles to fulfill to be working together as a team to try to win these matches.
Right now, SoulStealer in mid, picking up boots and a bottle. Going to go for the bottom rune. Defiler was going to go, maybe contest it. Looks like, is he? No, instead, Glacius kind of guarding that rune on bottom. And look at the teamwork. It's 2-on-1 on bottom. You have the advantage. You know you've got this lane 1 if you're EG. So Glacius, knowing the 2v1 advantage, you don't always have to be there, can go to bottom and make sure the Rune of Invis does not get taken by that Defiler.
Rune control is another aspect of this game it's a bit more of a random element to the game, but at times it can really turn the tide of battle. Runes do give temporary power-ups to the heroes that do pick them up, and that, as I said, it's a little bit random. There are different ones that spawn. There's no set pattern, but they really can turn the tide of battle in your favor.
Right, you don't know whether it's going to spawn top or bottom. You don't know which one of the 5 runes it's going to be. But the one thing that is a constant is the fact that it spawns every 2 minutes. At the start of, right when the timer hits 0, right at the 2 minute, right at the 4 minute, right at the 6 minute, on and on for the rest of the game. Now, something I'm not a fan of, SoulStealer could have come down, bottled that Invis at 5:59, and then the rune would spawn at 6, and he could have gotten another rune, or had Hellbringer or Glacius pick up another rune. Instead, waiting till after the 6-minute mark, so there will be no respawn of the rune. I just felt that was a really bad play by EG right there. And look at this, SoulStealer in mid. Action though, bottom looks like Bubbles picking up the kill on Hellbringer. Defiler throwing his ult out when SoulStealer tries to kill him in mid. SS trying to back up with the bottle, getting autoed. One more wave of death would do it. Not going to happen though. And SoulStealer always, almost dead, really. He is out of bottle charges for a second. I thought I saw you had one left. And EG, just as I was about to say how good they're playing, DuskBin picks up a kill on bottom, and Defiler almost turns that attempted kill around in mid. So, good play right now by DuskBin. I like to see, how they're kind of playing, just really smart, really intelligently, and pushing EG off of their game, not letting Chu control the game like he's done in so many games previously.
Yeah, Chu is really well known for his solo mid carry capacity. He is a very talented player when it comes to that. Was an amazing, we'll go into that a little bit about Magmus up top, but a great lineup kill there for Chu on this Wretched Hag up top. Now, what we did see there is we saw a comet come out from Andromeda on top of Fuji Apples, but the damage did not go down because Fuji Apples, as you see here, his Steam Bath is on cooldown, and what he did is he timed his skill so that the comet was negated. There was no damage and there was no stun going down. That is really quick reflexes.
And even Sebuska talking about nice miss stun, typing that Fuji Apples did use what was known technically as a disjoint, the invisibility coming out from the Steam Bath. It will disjoint single target spells such as Andromeda's Comet. So great job there by Magmus, throwing out his disjoint and being able, here we go, action on bottom, Hellbringer picking up the Invis rune, and it looks as though Defiler just going to be walking back now. Hellbringer chasing, though. I don't know if I agree with this play. Maybe looking to get a pick here in mid with Magmus or something.
Well, the Hellbringer, he does have the movement speed advantage. We just had Marchers picked up here on Mr. Swish, so Dodo here, that movement advantage is now gone, but the big thing about the Hellbringer character is that when he gets level 6, his ultimate here, Summon Malphus, it's a gigantic stun, and it is really, really well used for initiation purposes. Now, we did see a little bit of the heroes from Evil Geniuses stack up here in the mid. We do have Fuji Apples now also showing himself again. They're putting on a lot of pressure, and it's really working right now. DuskBin's heroes, both Andromeda and the Defiler here, they're really forced to this tower, and they are afraid to leave it.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of know there's at least three, most likely four heroes there in mid. And here we go, Malphus summoning onto Defiler, Andromeda taking some damage as well, but it looks like the port's coming into mid, forcing everyone back. Hammer, nice stun, good disjoint by Magnus, using his stun to do it there, but Bubbles coming in, throwing the orb out, Soulstealer going down, DuskBin taking down 3 kills, and this is not looking good for EG. We never see them lose the early game in this way. They always dominate, and it's unbelievable. Defiler going to take out this mid tower with Hammer's ult. Wow, I am in shock right now. EG definitely on their heels.
They're definitely suffering a little bit here from the early coordination of DuskBin. I mean, we did see a lot of homecoming stones come into the mid, and that brought a lot of more extra firepower to the table. There was the big advantage, however, of DuskBin's defense tower here. It was just randomly throwing out shots, but at this point of the game, you do not want to be taking a lot of shots from these defensive towers. They will really destroy you.
Right, and S2, thank you for the interesting Tablet of Illusion, the Three Musketeers bar here on bottom. So, keeping up with the theme of trick-or-treating, getting all that beautiful candy that we all remember getting as young little kids. Three Musketeer bars, obviously, because you get 2 illusions, creating 3 of yourself. S2, good job keeping the game interesting with the different images. Shout out to them. Thought it, I liked it. I like the Halloween theme, personally.
Well, the Christmas theme has come and gone, and I really did enjoy Santa Hat Congor, but I gotta say, Congostein here, he's definitely among my top favorites. I mean, these are just random skins. There's no extra abilities gained throughout these seasons. There's nothing extra, physical and tangible in the game. They're just different fans really love this kind of stuff, but it's just different skins, and it gives a good flavor. I mean, in the fountain down here in the Legion, we do got the ghost guarding it instead of a laser kind of tower. It's just a ghost. I mean, people like that.
Right, now we do have Andromeda laying a nice ward here on bottom. That ward's going to allow this Bubbles to essentially farm relatively well. If you'll notice, take a look at the sight it's going to give. If anybody tries to come down to the left and gank this Bubbles, he's going to be able to just walk right away. So Bubbles, when you get him that easy farm, the free farm, he's going to get that P key all the sooner. And by getting the portal key, his initiation potential is going to skyrocket in an unbelievable way.
Now, as we did say a little bit about the role of support, the others, warding is definitely one of the big things here for support players to be doing. It does give a lot of map control, as well as it does keep track of the enemy's movements. I mean, without that, this Bubbles down here, this JoJo flow, he would not be nearly as comfortable as he is right now. And speaking of comfortable, up he goes with that Shell Surf, going to be throwing down the Kelp Field right onto Dodo, but Dodo does get the Malphus out, and that's going to be enough to turn this right around as Pull Wilders there, the Witch Slayer player, he goes down to this combined damage output. I mean, Malphus is a really great initiation tool as well as a counter initiation tool, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Right, if you screw up your gank against the Hellbringer, you're dead. Hands down, best gank turner, I guess, in the game. You could call him. Not only is Malphus like the greatest anti-initiation ever, but on top of that, his Death Boil damage is just so high. And actually, we're going to see a pause here. Did it skip for you?
Yep, I'm actually at, right now, the game time of 12 minutes, 50 seconds, exactly.
Awesome. New mod came out, ladies and gentlemen, or a new added feature in console. We were testing it out for our first cast here today. Worked perfectly, so we're just going to go ahead and keep on casting. Nevertheless, Hellbringer, his Death Boil, so much damage over time, and on top of that, his Life Void keeps him alive for so long. Any damage his enemies take heals him as well. So he just pops his Death Boil and his Life Void on the enemy heroes, and man, Hellbringer does not die. If you try and kill him fast, otherwise you're going to end up going 5 down yourself.
He is accredited as being one of the hardest solo int heroes to kill simply because of his regeneration rates in big team fights. The more damage that goes down, the more damage he then restores. Well, the more health he restores, the more damage he negates, I should say. Now, a lot of people, when they do pick up a Hellbringer later on into the game, we are going to go over here to this Congor, throw down the Life Void, and then all the damage that Congor is going to be receiving is just transferred as health to the Hellbringer, and he can just tank it like a pro.
Yeah, and look at this. Glacius on top, throwing down the anti-ward, Wards of Revelation, right where the normal ward, the Ward of Sight, is for this DuskBin team. So, great job not only putting up vision, but also taking down their opponent's vision.
A great use of wards as well as support heroes. I mean, both teams are definitely top notch. Down south, however, Turtle Soup is going to be on the menu here as Jojo Flow goes down. But look at the Homecoming Stones coming in. They're really turning this gank around on Evil Geniuses. Soul Steer is going to be trying to live in the corner. He's going to run away, not going to be getting his soul explosion off as Hammerstorm did hit him in the face, and he does go down. So right now it does look like EG is on the retreat, and this defensive tower is not going to be supporting a lot of damage as it is very, very hurt. But this does not stop Magmus. The Fuji Apples himself going in might have been a little bit erroneous as he's now getting focused, but look at the damage, everyone coming in. Chu also picking up a kill there. It just did not work the way that DuskBin really wanted in that shot.
Right, and you know why? Defiler's ult went down just as Magmus initiated. It was actually about 1 to 2 seconds afterwards. Her ult lasts for 30 seconds, and knowing exactly how long her ult lasts for, oh wait, he popped it at the 14:30 mark. That means at 15, ult's going down. I don't know the exact times, wasn't looking at it, but that just goes to show you, me as a commentator can't even, I didn't even keep track of stats like that. These players are doing that. They knew Defiler ult is going to go down, main source of damage for this DuskBin team is going to go down right at a certain point in time, and that's when B-Kid initiated, or excuse me, Fuji Apples initiated. B-Kid normally plays Magmus. In this case, he's playing Soul Stealer. That's why we said that he's actually known for his Magmus. It was interesting to see B-Kid on Soul Stealer in this situation. Nevertheless, great game sense right there by EG, knowing the enemy's main source of damage over time was going to expire. They went in, they initiated, they got 3 kills for 1, and just unbelievable play from EG. This is why they're arguably the best team in the world right now.
At the time of this playing, yeah, arguably, top. I mean, this is the winner's bracket of the World Cup, and the World Cup means pretty much exactly that. These are the best of the best. We are down to the top 8 as the silver bullet comes out for Chu. I mean, a lot of disables just went right down there. Witch Slayer popping out his graveyard as well as his miniaturization, and then a Comet Stun. I do believe it's Comet. Yep, just Comet Stun from Andromeda. That really put Chu in an awkward position as he couldn't move, just stood there taking damage, and then the big burst of the silver bullet taking him down.
Right, now a lot of people wonder, what makes Witch Slayer such a good hero? Well, you basically just saw it right there. The guy has 2 disables, one of which is area of effect, meaning it's a complete row that comes out from him, and another is a single target impairment where you basically are miniaturized and can't really do anything. You can't use any of your spells, any of your items, nothing. You're basically stunned, except you can move at a very, very slow rate. And then on top of that, his ultimate, Silver Bullet, is basically like a bullet to your face. It's an unbelievable amount of burst damage. Let's take a look at it right now. It should be, 500 damage. 500 magic damage. Let's take a look at some other nukes we see over here. Magnus's nuke, 280 damage. Soul Stealer's nuke, 300 damage. Hag, 300 damage. All of these going to hover around 250 to 350. And here we go. Bubbles on top, initiating on Magnus. Missing the stun! Unbelievable! I can't believe he missed that stun, although miniaturization coming out, along with the stuns from Witch and Hammer, going to take down that Magnus, even though he did dodge Bubbles' ultimate.
Yeah, the Hammer Storm does have, a hammer that he can throw out, a nice radius. It is a ranged stun, but it has to be targeted, and it did indeed finish off his enemy there. They are going right past this tower. They're going right behind the tower, and they are chasing Evil Geniuses basically right out of the lane. Malf is going to be coming out. He takes down some trees with him because he doesn't like trees at all, but when you summon that on trees, you summon Malphus anywhere, it's going to destroy anything at all. Magmus from this Fuji Apples picking up a lot of kills right there, but Mr. Swish picking up a double tap for himself, and he did go down eventually. I mean, right now it is Mr. Swish on this Defiler playing extremely well for DuskBin, and he is sitting at a 4-3 score right now.
Yeah, now something interesting to note, that team fight, extremely unfortunate for DuskBin, not because of any specific numbers that the team fight ended up as, but Hammerstorm, one of their main sources of damage. His ultimate gives him essentially double damage. He sits there, he wails on people, using Galvanize, gives him the movement speed to chase heroes down. He does an unbelievable amount of damage, 200 damage every auto attack. Guess what? He got purged by the neutral creeps as he was chasing down Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer got away, was able to get a couple extra nukes off before he ended up dying that team fight. An extra 600 magic damage in an area came out, all because the neutral creeps decided to purge Hammerstorm as opposed to the Soul Stealer sitting there in the team fight. Super unfortunate. Probably saved 1 to 2 kills for EG, or excuse me, saved them from dying 1 or 2 more. I can't speak today.
Apparently not.
Save 1 to 2 of their heroes from dying because, Hammerstorm did get purged by those creeps. So, bit unfortunate there for DuskBin. It's always risky when you fight team fight in the jungle and there are purge creeps around because it can happen to either side. It's pretty much a random chance, and in this situation, DuskBin getting the short end of the stick.
In that case, yeah, but the big important note is that this top tower is no longer standing anymore. So they were able to pick that up out of all that fight. I mean, the score is tied 12-12, but with an extra tower in their pocket, that's a lot of map control as well as a comfort zone that now EG does not have in that top lane.
Right. Once you do kind of start to take control of the map, start taking towers out, the mobility of the enemy team is lowered. And when you have heroes like Wretched Hag, Magmus, and Soul Stealer, which are... Oh, wait, we do see some action here on Magmus, taking a lot of damage. Silence, he's getting auto attack down, and... bit of an overplay there by Fuji Apples. EG loves to run an aggressive Magmus, but you have to be careful. Getting caught by 4 heroes is unacceptable at this level of play.
Well, he paid for the price for it. He does go down virtually without a fight. Down south, however, we do have B-Kid picking up another tower, but majority of DuskBin are here in the mid, trying to take out, yes, another tower. Now, Hammerstorm, he just kind of showed up out of nowhere over there because he has picked himself up an item known as the Portal Key, which gives a great amount of mobility simply because it acts like a small little teleport. You can teleport a short distance with that as long as you haven't been damaged by any player-controlled anything player controlled is going to negate it, but without it, it's a great way to start up fights. Just teleport right in from the fog or the forest, somewhere that they do not have eyes. Throw down your stun, throw down your ultimate, which is God's strength in this case. I think it's God's strength, and then you just let the rest of the team come in. You might die, but it's the very important initiation aspect that you will be accomplishing for your team.
Right, and even if you do die, you're going to get a lot of damage out. And if they completely focus you 100%, you have a hero like Defiler and her Ghost sitting there doing so much damage over time that it's worth it. So Hammer, he's a beef stick, he's a great initiator, he's a great hero in general, and getting that portal key so vital on him. And to see that along with the portal key on Bubbles, it's looking pretty devastating right now. What I was going to talk about earlier is EG's mobility between Hag, Magmus, and Soul Stealer. 2 heroes with natural blinks, another hero that usually does pick up Portal Key. Therefore, your burst potential and your mobility is so high, even with all 3 of your outer towers down. The enemy team is still always in risk. The DuskBin, they need to be so careful because within a split second, you can have 3 heroes beating on your face. You have to be careful. But at the same point in time, DuskBin has now picked up 2 portal keys of their own. So really both teams having this huge burst potential. It's going to be crazy to see these team fights because whoever gets the jump on their opponents is most likely going to win.
And great timing of that example because Bubbles down south, Jojo Flow used his teleport in and then got the very low chew out of that fight, and it looks like he's going to be trying to run away. There it is again, the portal key. There he is. He is in the forest. Now this is one technique that you can use after your player damage wears off. Blink yourself into the forest where normal heroes cannot run, and there it goes again right there, the Hammerstorm trying to go in on Fuji Apples, but instead they will be picking up a B-Kid kill. And this is just one of the examples, as we were saying, about the portal key, a very useful item for big initiators and people that need to close the gap to do a lot of damage.
Right, I mean Hammer Stun is great by itself, but when you can ultimate, sit there, hit somebody for 285 damage a hit, then blink right up onto them, stun them, and just wail on them, you're looking at, what, 900, 1,000 burst damage before that stun wears off. So it's just such a great item on him. And on top of that, you have an area of effect stun that your team can play off of. You might stun 2, you might stun 3, you might stun 4 heroes with it as opposed to just 1. So this hammer really doing what he needs to do, controlling the game with his mobility, with the P key initiations, and it's what I like to see now. Fuji Apples over here really needs to fall. Oh, stun? What was going on? Him and Bubbles really close to each other, actually going to run into each other here. And look at this, Bubbles trying to maybe do some damage, and Magnus taking a huge amount of stuns right there. You know, EG, I'm going to say it right here, they're not looking in tip-top shape. They look pretty sloppy.
Well, right now they are losing the game 16-12, and a great indication of this game is with this spectator UI that everyone has access to. In the corners of the screens is an experience and a gold count, and these are relative to the other team. So right now, Legion coming up green with a 2,800 experience lead as well as a 4,600 gold lead, and that's a cumulative amount over their enemy team, in this case Evil Geniuses. So right now it is firmly in the lead of DuskBin. The other numbers there, towers and denies, I mean, we have 9 towers still standing. That's not right, we don't have 9 towers still standing. Why does this?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do?
You have the 2 base, you have 2 in base, 3 at Rax's, and then you have oh no, they've taken 9 towers.
Okay.
No, no, that's right. Because there's 3, 1.
2, 3.
Yeah, they have 9 towers left.
Okay, there you go. Statistics don't lie. They have 9 towers left. Evil Geniuses do not have 9 towers left. They have 6 towers left, which simple math does suggest the more towers that are standing for a team, the more map control, and it's a great indication of how far the lanes have been pushed into this game. Now, some games, not a lot of towers go down. Some games, it's all more about player damage, about ganking, getting off, a lot of big kills on your enemy and starting to demoralize them. There is a concede option in this game. Not a lot of players like to use that early into, especially the top 8 HoN teams of the world. But it is also a great indication, towers are a great indication, experience, gold, another indication. The other big factor would be kills.
Yeah, I mean, really the 2 stats that matter, experience and gold, because everything you do relates to experience and gold. The third statistic would be towers down because of the mobility and the map control it gives. So you might be a bit down in experience and gold, but if you do have extra towers, you have that increased mobility. You can be all over the map, and you can put more pressure on your opponents and kind of come back into the game. Although towers, the fact that they do give gold, if you are towers ahead, you're most likely gold ahead as is. Nevertheless, hero kills, some strategies are built, as you said, around hero killing. Other strategies built around tower killing and just pushing right up into your opponent's base. That's what makes this game so special. There's so many ways you can play this game, so many different strategies, and they're all viable. And thank you, S2, for making this game not, one strategy only. Go, go, go. This is the best strategy. There is no best strategy. It comes down to how you play as a team, and it comes down to, here we go, actually push coming here on top from this DuskBin team. Nevertheless, all strategies viable, aggressive, defensive, hero kill, tower kill, you name it, you can do it in Heroes of Newerth. So, nevertheless, we do have that push coming up on top. Jester, take it away, man.
So what DuskBin is doing here is they have all 5 tier heroes in their top lane, and right now it does not look like Evil Geniuses is going to be mounting a defense. So this is again going to be a pocket of safety and a pocket of vision that now EG has also been denied. So the only towers they have is now going to be in their base, and for some people their base may look a little weird. This is a few patches ago, but this is the landscape of the map, and right now with only towers in their base, the only other kind of vision we're going to be getting out of EG will be these wards of sight that are littered around the map. And the wards of sight, they are timed, they're not permanent, and they can also be destroyed if revealed. So right now EG is kind of on the back burner of this game. They've kind of brought up the experience gap a little bit. 700 is only the divising factor at this point, simply because of creep farming the waves and creep farming the jungle. But at this point, I mean, there's a lot of missing vision that EG does not have.
Right, but at the same point in time, the experience, although it's not hugely in the favor of one team or the other, what I like to see, Chu, level 15, playing the Wretched Hag. He's playing it as a soft carry, not necessarily a super hard carry, but Hag can come in late game and do some work. Soul Stealer, level 15 as well, has his items, he's got Portal Key, he's got Shrunken Head, so he's not really too far behind. Over here on DuskBin, yes, Hammer, he's doing good, he's level 13, but look at this, Bubbles with his P key level 15. Bubbles getting a lot of gold, a lot of experience. It's nice, but he doesn't have a steroid skill, which I'll get into after this action starts. Here we go, Sheep coming out on a Magmus, stuns going, Magmus doing the work. SS blinking in, trying to do his ult. Looks as though Andrew's going to swap. Hag trying to get away. He's going to be able to here. No one in particular going down. No one even really weak. Chu running away from this Hammer who does get ice. Bubbles throwing his ice out though. And Soul Stealer in worlds of hurt right now. He's going to go down. Hag, nice ult coming out from Chu. And here we go. P-Key's going on to Chu, trying to keep him disabled, but I don't know how well it's going to happen. Defiler finally going down. EG actually turning this fight around even with their Soul Stealer, or after that Soul Stealer death. And look at this. Unbelievable. I thought DuskBin was going to take that after they took down Soul Stealer, after they took down B-Kid, and wow, unbelievable turnaround. Great teamwork there by Hellbringer and Wretched Hag coming in with the genocide.
Now, there's a lot of AoE spells, area of effect spells going down in that fight. We had the Malphus, the Soul Stealer Expulsion of Souls. His official name of that is Soul Burst, but it's a big ring of concentric souls that just go out, damage everyone. Malphus, we did have hammers going down. The ultimate from Hag did a big AoE, and that was a big majority of the damage right there. And then we saw Glacius finishing off the fight with, I think it's Glacial Downpour. Which is another AoE ice spell. I mean, there's a lot of cleanup to go down there, but it was a 5 versus 4 fight as well, simply because Fuji Apples got initiated upon first, and he was out of that fight. But because they wasted a few skills taking him down, it might have been the difference in that fight, simply because of cooldowns.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's just kind of a shame to see that Fuji Apple still this late in the game does not have his portal key on that Magmus, although he does not have any gold staved up, so he might have just picked it up. No, maybe. He was really close. He had 1,500 gold earlier. Magmus with a portal key is essential at this point in the game, and he does have the portal key. All right, sweet. He needs to be trying to get that portal key probably around the 22 to 25 minute mark. Sure, getting it a bit later, but roaming around and securing the map is a perfectly fine style of play, but no joke, with this portal key on Magmus, and he's level 11, so he's going to have his level 2 ultimate. Watch these team fights. EG, I thought they were at a disadvantage earlier. DuskBin, I was like, DuskBin's probably going to take this one down, and then EG wins that fight. After that fight, Magmus ends up with a portal key, and I'm really worried for DuskBin, because when Mag has that P-Key ult, has, just really good initiation, it's scary. DuskBin really needed to win that last team fight, and right now they are not sitting in a nice position.
No, right now, I mean, both teams are very wary of each other right now, because the way those team fights did not happen, or they did happen. I guess some people thought that they didn't happen quite the way they wanted to, namely DuskBin in that regard, since they did lose that one. They're being very careful, very wary. They want to make sure that the next team fight they do will be in their favor, or else this snowballing effect will just continue for Evil Geniuses. They have taken now the experience and the gold lead, although that is very negligible at this point, about 100 gold. That's not very much gold at this point in the game, folks. But at this point, I mean, EG has taken that lead. Now, they don't have the extra towers, but they don't have the extra kills. But hero kills, I mean, the higher level you are, the more experience you're going to be getting out of that. And taking out all 5 of DuskBin in that last fight, at these high levels, I mean, everyone's double-digit heroes now. That's a lot of experience to get.
Action Bottom Soul Stealer taking a lot of damage there. Great job overall. And P-Key on Hammerstorm, Portal Key on Hammerstorm, Portal Key on Witchslayer, Portal Key on Bubbles. 3 blink initiators, one of which already had a natural blink, so he can use his, well, Bubbles, it's actually more of a pseudo blink. He can use his pseudo blink to essentially escape. Wow, look at this. Congor going down so fast. Aurora, Defiler ult coming out, and Defiler blowing the ult. Oh, here we go. Magmus throwing. What? Oh man, Bubbles actually stopped Magold from blinking in. Unbelievable, Congor does go down. Chewed actually steals it with Wretched Hag, although he's going to drop instantly. Shrugging Head's going off for both Defiler and Hammer. Witchslayer, nice stun coming out there. Magma's taking a lot of damage. DuskBin doing a great job. Bubbles coming forward, probably going to throw his Silence out in a couple seconds. Defiler chasing that Glacius is going to get the kill. Silence coming out, and Hellbringer, so weak, goes down behind the play, and Defiler's ghosts are going to heal her right back up. Genocide in the favor of DuskBin. And the token as well, going on to Filer.
Now, for those of you that don't know, a token of life is simply that. You die, you can redeem your token for yet another life. You respawn exactly where you died, back to full health. Not new cooldowns, but back to full health. It really does put a bit more of a twist on the strategy later on into the game, because once you know a hero has that free life ready to redeem, you have to make a choice. Either you're all going to commit to killing him as quick as possible to get rid of it, or you have to ignore him and kill off the rest of the team so that you can then hopefully take a bit more of a focused approach on top of that hero. So I mean, teams deal with it differently, but with a Defiler who has proven to be a very hard hero to kill this entire game, with that extra life, it's now going to be doubly hard for evil geniuses in these team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the one hero I would have liked to have seen the token on as opposed to Defiler is Hammerstorm, and for the main reason you had brought up of the fact that you do not get reset cooldowns. You do get full health, you do get full mana, and you do respawn about 2 seconds after you die right where you died. But if Defiler blows ghosts early and forces the fight, then when she dies and respawns, the ghosts are dead. You don't get a chance to summon them again. Ghosts are her main source of damage. So, when you die with ghosts on, you're worthless kind of as a Defiler. You have a silence, you have a wave of death, but you're really not doing a whole lot. And if you wait till you die, respawn, and then force ghosts, it might be too late, because if they can take out everyone else on the team, if they can take out Witch, Andromeda, Hammer, then it's a 1-on-5, and you can blow your ghosts then, but you're still kind of worthless. So instead, Hammerstorm, great damage over time. He can throw out stuns. He can throw out, Galvanize, only really once. But it's because he just does so much physical damage over time with his ult. And just his base auto attack. It's much higher than Defiler's, and he attacks faster than Defiler. So, and here we go, Witch actually initiating onto this Wretched Hag, throwing the stun. Needs to throw the nice silence and stuns just everything going out on this Wretched Hag. Great job by by DuskBin to shut down Chew right there. Blink initiation, I heard, pretty good.
It took all the mana of Witchslayer, but he tried his darnest to keep the Chew from running away, which is exactly what you need to do with heroes that have those inherent escape mechanisms. Now, Wretched Hag, as a hero, she does have a flash of darkness, and what that does is it acts very akin to a portal key, just without the requirements of having A, to buy it, or B, the hero damage. So every 6 seconds she can teleport out of damage if she is not disabled and if she has the mana. So that was a big part of what Witchslayer tried to do there, is set up for the first disable as well as try to get off the third disable. Hopefully we had a disable in the mid, otherwise he would have been aiming for the second. These teams obviously, they communicate, they know each other, they play a lot, so they would know what combo they're going to be running, but unless you can keep for example, in the Chew, unless you can keep him down, he's just going to get right out of that gank, and then that's going to be just a bunch of wasted mana on your part.
Right, well, 1750 HP, and the blink is almost instant. You have to chain your crowd controls, your disables, so perfectly, and they did it. DuskBin, great job, and it's tough to do. DuskBin is one of the top teams. You always hear about them in these tournaments, and that just goes to show you. And here we go, Hammer actually throwing his ult, same as Defiler. Hammer stunning in onto Wretched Hag, trying to take down that Hag again. Does end up going down. Magnus, nice blink ult, taking out the supports behind the play. No? Yes, Witchslayer does end up going down. Back towards the fight up top. Defiler ult just doing work on Hellbringer. Dodo taking a lot of damage. Nice blink stun coming in from Hammer, finishing him off. And Soul Stealer, EGB Kid, needs to be very careful right here. Mag stunning in. Bubbles coming forward, hitting the silence. And it looks as though Magnus is going to get silenced as well from Defiler. Is he going to be able to get away? I don't know. Hammer blinking forward. Never mind, not needed. Defiler throwing the wave out, getting the kill on the Fuji Apples.
Now, we were talking a little bit about how the Token of Life is a great hindrance to the enemy team, but we did see Mr. Swish doing very offensive play. I mean, he kind of ignored the barracks, ignored the towers, and tried to keep the enemy heroes at bay because he has a Token of Life. If they kill him, he just come right back, and then a lot of those cooldowns they used to kill him would then be on cooldown, and then he would have the upper hand. But in this case, he did play the forward advanced guard, and that allowed a lot of his team here to set up A, the kills, and B, grab both the middle tower, now the top tower, as well as those Raxes. It does look like B-Kid, however, has a little bit of confidence, erroneously placed, I gotta say, as he does go down, and that completes the genocide with the death of Sabuska and a concede vote to boot.
Not gonna lie, B-Kid definitely frustrated right there. Just walked into disables. I know he expected to use his shrunken head, but really, like, that's just awful to see. He just walked forward and killed himself. So you can tell EG's kind of upset. There was one point in the game where they were starting to make a comeback, and now DuskBin just turned on the super manly mode and is going to walk out of this game most likely with a victory, considering they've taken two sets of Raxes down already. And we do see Defiler's ult coming in, doing some work, and just unbelievable play from DuskBin. I really hand it to him. I think they played great. And look at this. Bubbles coming in, doing work on Magnus, doing work on Hellbringer. And finally, Defiler, her ult, ends up killing 2 or 3 people right there as it goes down, healing her at the same time.
Now, we did have Mr. Swish play a very tanky version of Defiler, which is kind of the way that it goes. I mean, look at his items. Frostwolf's Skull gives a lot of hit points, 200 max health with 25 strength to boot. On top of that, he went with Shaman's Headdress, which is magical armor as well with health regeneration. So everything in this game is mitigated by armor, whether it be physical or magical. And, I mean, to boot a Shrunken Head, more strength, which is more hit points, as well as magic immunity for an on-demand time. It really did pay off very well. 11-4 was her score, and she single-handedly kept the entire team at bay in that last fight.
Absolutely. All right, well, that was Game 1, DuskBin versus EG, quarterfinals here of the HoN World Cup, sponsored by GoSuGamers.net. Don't forget to check that site out. Those guys throwing down the largest Heroes of New Earth tournament the world has yet to see. So good job by them, and we should have Game 2 coming up next.